I was letting my Mars and Scorpio out. I'm screaming around. Ah!
We love you for your Mars and Scorpio.
I know. I was even saying I just hate feeling like I'm a tyrant sometimes, man.
You're not. You're a manifesting generator.
I know. I'm trying to be
frustration out sometimes.
Anyway, if y'all have never watched the show before, it's exclusive to highvibe.tv. This is where we go through the love through the week. Of course, we have the awesome High Vibe Solo Cup that we are going to pull the signs and see what's going on. We do a collective reading at the beginning. Make sure that you join highvibe.tv. I'm sure if you already watched this live, you might be like, oh, he's repeating, but we did go live again, so people are going to watch this for the first time. We have an amazing 2020. I do have a discount code right now. I think it's light. I don't know. If you watch my Instagram live, I have a couple discount codes that I threw out just like real quick if you want to make it to the event live. But if you want and on live stream, we have the live stream available, which is going to be for, I don't know, it's like from 3 p.m. till 11 p.m. And then we go off of that live stream and go to YouTube. We got to make. I got out everything.
You can't ask for which.
Oh, for real. I think it's fine on Facebook, but it's like, maybe it's YouTube.
I'll just figure out where the cord, what the cord is doing. All right, looks like we're back.
Facebook was dragging it out.
Damn it, Facebook. No one likes you anymore.
Yeah,
Tonight's refreshment, cran raspberry liqueur. It's kind of like someone who is eating cranberries and raspberries burped in another room, and I can just kind of smell it every time I drink it. That's the essence I'm getting. Let's do this. Let's get some predictions going.
I am trying my butt off. All right, so I just want to say about the rat really quick. Last thing, it can be stressed running around, and in relationships, I think rats or everybody is going to have to go. We're all going to feel like we're in a rat's nest and trying to figure out, especially because this is a very intense year. Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Pluto. I mean, these are all like the most biggest transits all happening at once within the first 3 months of the whole entire year.
Yeah.
So it's like a rat in the middle of that is like kind of like it's super excited because it's like, ooh, all these things to accomplish. But at the same time, rat needed the ox to even win the race. And so that's a relationship thing, if that makes sense.
We're going to need our ox.
Yeah.
We're all going to need our ox in our own way. And you can be the rat and the ox, I think, too. You can be someone else's ox and still be your own rat.
Yes, you can. And I don't think that people are going to be able to do things alone anymore.
Oh, absolutely not.
Because Chiron and Aries is like, no.
And I just feel like, just consciousness-wise, we are becoming so much more obviously connected and kind of blending together. And it's really about being around the right energies and the right people. So if you're coming home to somebody that's not really on your vibe, that's going to like just stick out so hard like a sore thumb this year.
Well, and I do want to say, since we are going to, I feel like this is going to be, and we said it in the first video, but now we're on the second video, that the love predictions feel like it's going to be more than just this week of December 30th through January the 5th of 2020. I feel like it's also like a 2020 love prediction, because we're kind of adding,
absolutely,
like you into this, me into this. We're adding everything we got into this.
We're casting a wide net.
A wide net. I mean, we even brought out a lot of decks. I don't know if Jax wants to show. I mean, we got a lot of decks out.
We got 7 decks, yeah.
We did do 7 decks. Spiritual, you know, look at that. We got 7 decks, you know?
Yeah.
And
so it's going to be a power-packed reading.
I guess, yeah, especially for the collective, I guess I'll throw a little astrology in. This week, the moon in Pisces, I think, is really beautiful, connecting with all this Capricorn. It's like, go with the flow. Like, we had to go with the flow with this tonight to get it live, and you're okay. But I think it's going to get a little difficult. Mars leaves Scorpio this week, goes into Sag. At the same time, while this moon in Aries is going to square all this Capricorn. So it's like,
sounds like a lot of
it's a lot of well, it's a lot of ego fire that's being met with reality in a hard way. But it's not hard if you realize, okay, there's a lot of excitement, but it's like you're gonna have to take real steps and find real solutions. Like, it just can't just be this big adventure dream that you want.
Like, if you're not all in, or you're not really like serious about that person you're going up to, they're gonna know right away, and they're just gonna be like, no, I'm not even responding to that text.
Yeah. Or anything that just feels like there's gonna be no reality to it, or it's just like painting a picture.
Or it's just like in and out, or like sliding through the DMs.
Yeah, it kind of could be that way too.
It's like, oh, you're just sliding through. Slide on by.
And Venus in Aquarius, though, I think is smart enough to see all the picture and be like, oh, wait.
Yeah,
like,
she is.
There's something not connecting there in reality, too. There's that whole reality thing going on, intense.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the first time the moon in Aries squares to Jupiter, while the south node in Jupiter are getting closer. So then there becomes, I think it's a good thing. And Mercury and Jupiter meet. So it's like communications are going to be really big this week, but it's like, does it fit reality? Does it, or just figuring out the reality instead of just focusing on just the passion. And I think this is about like, the passion should also be in making it real, opposed to just the passion of the passion or something like that. And it's Mars at the end of Scorpio too, where it's like hungriest or
lust.
It can be lust, but I also think it can be that Phoenix rising. Like, you can rise to something beautiful, but I think you got to be like, this has to be real. Like, there has to
be a commitment.
There does have to be commitment, yeah. And we are a degree away from Saturn and Pluto, which is pretty crazy that next week, at the end of the week, we go into a lunar eclipse, and then we go into Saturn and Pluto. So it's like,
yeah.
And that's a lunar eclipse in Cancer coming, which is going to be extremely emotional.
Wow.
Right? And Saturn and Pluto. So it's like, you want to set up your pieces this week and have your concrete like foundations and structures.
Right.
In the people that you're putting your emotions in, because if there is none, it's almost going to feel like a turbulent storm. Like, oh, but I wanted that, or I put so much in. It's like, well, you didn't have the Capricorns would be like, you didn't have a plan, you didn't have a structure.
Right. And were you being realistic about those connections? Like, were they ever on the same page with you?
Everybody's like, done. I don't think it's negative though. I think it actually can bring some of the most real shit ever, but then it also you'll be faced with, oh yeah, that's not real. Yeah,
I think it's always important when real shit hits the fan to be like really aware. Am I being like in a victim consciousness? Because if shit does hit the fan, it's just like, oh my God, they didn't love me. It's like, that's not what this year is about.
No.
This year is about getting serious, clear, practical, suave, precise, and like, if it's dramatic, it's time to jettison that shit.
Yeah, it's true.
So don't think that bad things are happening to you. You're just getting the real deal view of what your world and the people in your world are, so that you can clear what doesn't serve you.
Yes.
And be assertive about it. Like, if it's obvious, don't cling. Don't try and like create something else out of it. Don't like struggle with it. This is a time for just clear. What do we get?
No, we have to hold
500
half the
cards.
deck. But I think how are we gonna do this? I feel that we're just gonna go with the flow and feel whatever we feel like pulling, whatever you feel called to, whatever I feel called to, and then we just meet somewhere in the middle.
Sounds good. Well, I'm gonna start with this red one because.
Yeah, I like that deck. I'll start right away. First card. Oh my gosh! First card I got for this week is the Tower card, and I would say for 2020, for love and the collective. I think that anything that really is not built that is truly sturdy is coming down. And and you got the growth card with the spiral. It was weird. I was feeling that whole kind of spiraling energy.
Woo. Yeah.
Vortexy growth.
Right. It's like. I think also growth happens in a spiral. So sometimes we have to like come back around to the same point and re-experience, a lesson, re-experience a pattern we didn't fully release because it didn't serve us. And that Tower energy is going to be like plain as day.
Yeah,
it won't stand.
I think that I got the Black Moon Lilith mystery card with the Tower in there too. I think that it's like, Black Moon Lilith is not no softie.
She wants what she wants.
She does want what she wants. I feel though it's like the towers are coming down because the things that are not growing you in your true wants and desires aren't going to work anymore. Like there's no more faking.
It's just gonna.
It's like a fake orgasm. You really can't fake it.
Yeah, because you're not satisfied after.
I think that was very 2000s porn.
Yeah, that was just some weird shit that they were
like that was an experiment. So when you were on Deep Love Tarot the last time, you said one of the most beautiful things I ever heard. You said that porn was alien engineered ways to
harvest our energy.
Harvest your energy.
It's true, people.
I love that.
I've seen it.
I think that's amazing. And I feel like this energy kind of brings that. If it's fake, it's got
if
that
it's manipulative,
yeah.
If it's weird, if it's chaotic, we're ascending here. So like ascension is not going to, hold anything that's grimy and weird anymore. I feel like people are really going to like pop out of their spiral.
Look at, what was it? What did you pull there?
And then we got harmony. And it says on here, as I create, I will share harmony divine with love and care. So I think that's a beautiful, like, calm after the storm. So if your tower does blow up and people do leave your life and you do recognize that you've been fooling yourself with patterns and kind of being hypnotized by the dreaminess or the projections, it's like on the other side of that, it's like, okay, I'm going to be really responsible to what I'm creating in my relationships now. I'm going to be only going for harmony. I'm going to only be going for those energies that are loving and caring and divine.
I feel like Ganesha should come out.
Yeah, I was feeling that too.
I just do. Man, I think you said it perfectly. I think there's going to be a major moment here. And then if you accept it, I think Black Moon Lilith is kind of the kind of middle card here. It was like, why bullshit yourself anymore? Number one, like she doesn't bullshit herself. You know what I mean? Like that's the one thing about her I like the most, because she's like, that's what I want. And I don't care what kind of anybody thinks. I think that there's guilt associated with this, with the tower of like, I don't want this to fall because of my desires and wants, even though it's a pattern that's stunting my growth that I'm repeating constantly. I don't want to do that. It's like feeling guilty. I think that's a lot. And I think harmony actually comes when we don't feel guilty.
Right. Because the guilt comes from us not fulfilling some societally imprinted kind of archetype of what a relationship should look like, or what you should have by a certain age, or what you've read online in the spiritual community about what a twin flame relationship should look like. It's like, maybe it's a lot simpler, and it's simple to see when it's not working.
Prosperity.
And right, if you're hanging around the wrong people, you're probably not as prosperous as you could be.
100%. I mean, especially the way that Ganesha looks in this card, it's like he is stoked. You know, he's got all the fruits. He's got a comfortable seat.
He's waving his
he's
plants
satisfied.
around. He's got pineapples. And 45, gate 45 in human design is where we actually manifest like money.
Is it in the throat?
Mm-hmm. It's like literally calling the prosperity into being.
I wanted to pick a card for twin flames. You and I both pick a card. A lot of people have been it's been everywhere. I don't know if you've been noticing on YouTube, all the readers, tarot readers, even astrologers, they all been feeling like twin flame energy. And then people almost are not knowing, or is that it, or is this person it, or whatever. I think that we need to kind of give clarity to people about twin flames collectively.
I'm down for that, because I personally believe that's another harvesting scheme. It's just another psyop for you all to be trapped in this limbo where you're not in empowerment, you're seeking something that's illusory, and it's draining your energy. And it's just like, oh, let's build a culture around it. And I know this is going to be triggering for people, but this is truly what I believe. And I think it's happening on a level of consciousness. So it's not just, oh, everyone on YouTube is jumping on the bandwagon to get views because it has twin flames on it. It's more like, entities that are kind of creating this illusion of, oh yeah, dangling carrot, just keep going and you'll find your twin flame. But actually it causes confusion.
I think there's like a new, I think the twin flame thing is like a stepping to what people really want to find, if that makes sense. I think there's an essence. It's almost like, I think what you're describing is like a counterfeit version of what a true connection might be. Right? And I feel that true connection is possible if we see through these kind of traps, which I think is this growth card you pulled, because it's like you can get stuck in a cycle and say, but it's my twin, so I'm just going to deal with being murdered.
Right.
Literally, I'm going to deal with being catastrophed out. Right? You know what I mean? Because I've noticed that in like these forums, and these people will stay holding on to somebody being treated like the worst of their lives, just because they're like, well, that's my twin, it's supposed to be that way. It's like, and not grow, isn't that like the first reason we're here, is to keep growing and be in a positive place? Like, because I almost feel like it's destroying people's emotional places. And I think that Lilith wouldn't deal with a twin that would be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go fuck someone else and I'll come back whenever the fuck I want. I think that Lilith, even though appreciates that person doing that, I think that Lilith at the same time is like, but if I don't want that, then I'm not going to do that. And I think that that's something that, I don't know. So for me I'm going to use.
Yeah, it feels right to do the.
I like just tarot.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you feel like. I got the Magician card upright.
So what's that?
I mean, number one, I think that with the Magician upright, it's like, that twin flame energy is a magician themselves within you. Like it's the powers where you both are. There is no pain. There is no hard suffering. There is an understanding of the universe and going into the same vibration. It's the infinity symbol. It's all four aspects of tarot: the pentacles, the cups, the wands, like, and you get the swords. It's full balance. It's understanding alchemy. It's understanding the universe. It's like twin flames that if you're with, especially I'm noticing twin flames that you got divination, which is exactly what I was just feeling, is like if your twin, or you think it's a twin, is not into spirituality or does not believe it or is not in the divine form and doesn't know their magic, that's not your twin. That's like a soulmate energy reminding you of your true magic. And it's like, if they're not magical, and divination.
So what is divination? It's being able to just see clearly. It's being able to not live in a world of in-betweens. And I think if you are confused, do some divination. That will probably show you very clearly. It's not going to mince words. It's going to be like Tower if the person's Tower, or it's going to be like the Lovers or the Star if it's going to be the right thing for you. So use your divination. Everyone has access to this. You have divination within your own self. You don't need to look outside yourself even to really know. But
let's see, why does the collective pull divination? Two of Wands reversed. It's like people who aren't in the same world of divination as yourself. I really believe that. I think that there's a lot of people attached to people who are trying to like tugboat them into
Right.
that spiritual world, tug them, you know what I mean? And that's over now. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, I've been saying this one a lot in the astrology. The time has passed for who's on the boat and who's not. Like, it's kind of like right now, if you really try to see, is anybody going to awake? It's not like it was 8 years ago. It's not like it was 5 years ago. It's not like it was even like, I think this last past kind of was the last couple years, right? Of people kind of like getting it finally. But I feel like if they haven't been on it, on this case now, it's like, you are literally with somebody in a totally different idea of what the world. It's two, and Dolores Cannon spoke about this. The splitting of the earth. You know, like this is really splitting of the earth, and I feel that if you're real, whatever you want to call that, twin, or I think it's just like divine union, is the best word. What did you pull? And you pulled a little. You pulled our favorite lady,
Lady Nada.
Well, no, I was okay. Yeah, well, she's a lot better, but I'm laughing because we actually have a Doreen Virtue deck out.
Oh, right. Well, wasn't Lady Nada like the counterpart to like one of the Ascended Masters? Oh yeah, Saint Germain. That was his boo. Mother, wife, sister, daughter. So it's a wholesome energy, and I think any truly divine connection, which honestly is incredibly rare, I think.
Well, and there's a rose too. It's like real.
It's real. Mother Mary, divine energy.
Well, and I think because it's all the forms in a family of women, right? A mother, a wife, a sister, and a daughter, right? Those are all going to be connected in a family unit, and it's going to feel like true family. But I think with the roses and that color, and with Lady Nada, it's like it's got an enrichment around it and such a closeness. And not a fake closeness either, right? Like
pure, it's healing.
It's like
it makes you a better person.
It doesn't have an
bond.
outside thing like, oh, our home is what makes you a mom or anything to me, right? Or it's some sort of outside attachment to something. I think it's already a natural inner. I also want to ask why the collective is pulling the Magician card, which is the star that you and that's upright, the star card upright.
That's really good.
So
that's really good, guys.
And this is another divination card. Like, you know, it's after the Tower too, which is ironic that we got the Tower at the beginning, and then this is after the Tower. And the star card is the Seven Sisters always, and the purity, and it reconnects with its true wholesome self. So it's like true magicians who know how to connect with the stars above and connect with the divination, and people who are from two different worlds are not going to work. It's not going to work. Not going to work.
Right. Do they know their inner truth? That's the gate that Saturn and Pluto are meeting in for human design, inner truth. If they don't know their inner truth, they're not qualified to be your twin flame, period.
Ooh.
And you need to let them get blown away, Tower style, and you need to walk away, Lilith style, so that in a couple months, when things are shifting and changing again, we can have that star energy bringing in our true destined partnerships.
Yeah, and the Magician is totally set. He's got the Magician wand too, which is in the Chariot as well. But it's like there is something to say about the Magician is so empowered in knowing of the divine, the earth, and the soul.
And themselves.
And themselves, exactly. All in one. It's the all-in-one card. It is the first #1 card too. So if you do not know yourself fully and you're with somebody who doesn't know themselves fully, and especially that you pulled divination and that divination pulled a 2 of wands reversed, like there is something to say. It's like, this is a true splitting of the earth. Let's see what these dice have to say. Unless you feel like one more card. I feel like maybe one more astrology card. I want you to pick it though.
All right, cool.
I'm just feeling you. I'm feeling you. Human design me, doggy, with some of that.
Let's see. I like to do the side shuffle and let them pop up like that. It's just always been my...
Everybody's got their own thing.
Mercury, mind. I think that's more divination. That's just more like...
I mean, Hermes is the ruler of
clarity.
astrology.
It's just like, it's a no-brainer, people. It's a no-brainer. And Mercury is going to be synchronicitying you like crazy, showing you whether it's yes or a no. Listen to the conversations people are having around you. Listen to things that people repeat to you. Listen to the weird commercials that pop on the radio when you get into the Uber. Like, those are where Mercury is giving you those hints and guiding you towards the divination of your truth. It's not always in cards. It's not always in a system. It's actually in reality, especially with Mercury and Capricorn.
Yes. And with Mercury too, I think that it is stimulation of actual, like, if we're using the Magician card and we're using the Star card and we're using the divination, right? It's like an understanding completely of the world, the magic that you are. If you can't understand it in someone and they can't understand it in you, that is a very clear sign. It's like, I'd rather go like play a video game, and it's like, I think that we need to talk about like this energy that's coming around. It's like, I don't really feel anything, or I don't see it, or da da da. It's like, run.
Crickets.
Bye. I'm gonna pick one more final one. This is the final.
Okay.
Full moon, which is the lunar eclipse coming. 29. Wow. What's the 29th gate?
That's the all-in energy of commitment.
Oh, damn. So if it's not all in emotionally and everything there, but I think you got to be careful with that full moon in Cancer. It's like, oh, well, I just want to take care of it and maybe they'll change.
No, yeah, that commitment energy of the 29 can be really gnarly, because once you're in the experience, once you've committed and jumped in, you don't get to leave until it's over. And you don't get to decide when it's over, because it's a force of energy. So being really tied to our alignment before we make that big leap, and maybe not doing it right around the full moon eclipse. Like, there's going to be such intense energies. It's hard to be super clear, around those moments. So give yourself some time, people. Feel it out.
That lunar eclipse is going to oppose Saturn Pluto.
Oh, wow.
With the sun and Mercury.
What's the degree?
20.
Right on my ascendant? Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Here we go. Transforming.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty powerful. 20 degree. And then 2 days later is the 22 degree Saturn Pluto with the sun with Mercury all at the same time. That is the mark. And I feel that the full moon as well, if we take a look at it, this card, and this being kind of the overall, it is saying that it's like, one of my mentors, Christopher Tecchi, always used to call full moon a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I always like that, because we get pulled by our emotions, and we have to always remember that the sun is lighting up those emotions. So it's like, sometimes we can facade ourselves. The moon can get lost and drunk.
Yeah.
Right? But it's
the
like
unconscious.
But it's in the and so I think that this is about being aware of not going down any roads that feel like you are losing yourself, losing your magic, losing your true divine soul.
Losing anything.
And losing the world that you know you're in to go try and be in a world that doesn't make sense for you.
Stick to what works.
Boom. I don't know which dice. Which one do you want to do?
You do all three. You got the good dice rolling hands.
We got the 12th house Venus in Pisces. Woo. Oh, this is some karmic shit. Wow. I think that this is like, again, more divination, true spiritual, like, I mean, I think that it's possible for the best thing ever, but it could also be a catastrophe if it's got subconscious, or it's got addictive elements to it, or it's like holding on to something that's a very K2 kind of like in the 12th kind of energy, right? Like, it's like, this is Venus in the 12th. Like, it is either sinking or not even swimming, but flying in the highest parts of the universe in the ethers. So I think that this is where, you could sink really deep into something that is not making sense, and it's, the sensitivity is too much to deal with it and let go. Or are you going to truly connect with the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen in your life and not, miss out on it because you're too sensitive?
Yeah, and I feel like Venus and Pisces in the 12th can be really sacrificial in love. And I think that this is not a time to be sacrificing in love. I think it's a time to be just sticking to what works and knowing that we're not playing around this year. Like, we're really not. So getting into that watery, I can really see the light in them. I'm just going to like hold more space for them. And I know they're going to come around.
Right.
No. But I also think that we are going to connect to a really powerful divine love within ourselves that's going to let us see the world around us with more compassion.
Yes.
So not just in a romantic sense, but just like being able to look at the world with love, look at other people living their lives, going through shit, just holding more love for humanity without having to sacrifice any of your integrity to do it.
100%.
Boom.
Wow, that was a lot.
Collective energy.
Here, you do the first dibs of the first sign.
Okay. I love this part.
And I get rid of all the cards too. It's like those cards
we just
it's like
retire them.
I retire them because it's like it's like I don't know why I do that, but I do. And we got so many cards here. It's like I don't want to keep seeing the same cards pop up.
Cancer.
Cancer's first. Cancers.
It's your eclipse, guys.
Cancer sun, Cancer rising, Cancer moon.
Where should we start?
Well, I always say a little something really about the astrology. I mean, this is the shit ton of Capricorn, the most ever that any Cancer has had to deal with, and it's dealing with relationships. So I think that Cancer,
on the 7th house.
It's like this is it's super 7th housey, and with Mars finishing in the 5th house here, and then coming into the 6th, it's like you got Jupiter here for a year, all this heavy, powerful realization of the life that you can change and have, but it's like Mars is going to make you face that now. Like, are you going to make the changes? Are you going to face it?
You going to step up to the real?
Yeah, it's like there's a fear of stepping up to the adventure of the greatest adventure of your life, or kind of believing as like a warrior into some really catastrophic situation of either emptiness or staying solo or staying with somebody just because it's like I have chains of promises I made and yada yada, but I am dealing with the devil.
Or I'm too afraid to embody that new version of self. Pisces.
Pisces is the first card we got that I believe, but yeah, I mean, gonna be interesting. We're in the Pisces moon right now. I feel that, especially with Pisces for all Cancers, that's the 9th house. It deals with the dreams and the visions. It's like, is the dream and the vision and the adventure and the things that you believe that you're going towards really as Disneyland-like as you think? Or where are the ones that is? I think because it's the duality sign. There is a magical path, and then there is one that is not. And it's like, this is where you can't mess around anymore.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to either sink or swim with all this like eclipse energy, and the nodal energy too in Cancer. It's like we've really, us Cancerians, I am a Cancer rising, really need to have and Jupiter and Chiron need to have a lot of restraint, I feel, because it's almost like it can be so much more seductive to just dissolve into someone else, and that's what water signs kind of like. They want that complete just jacuzzi of love experience. But I think our higher values need to come first right now. Like our higher principles, the 9th house stuff.
Or at least just make sure it's a jacuzzi and not a
cesspool.
I was going to say a cesspool or like a, what do you call them? A
kiddie pool that a bunch of kids have peed in.
Yeah, or I was going to say, what do you call it? Oh gosh, a septic tank.
Ooh.
The challenge card that we got is we didn't.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Focus.
Time. So I think the focus might be off. It's like, or like not facing where you know that you should go. You know, that focus card, it always has a, an arrow that is going to be shot. And it's like, the challenge is like maybe focusing too much maybe in a space that maybe, as you were saying earlier, like oversaturating the focus in one direction. But I think the challenge is like where to aim. And I think with Pisces being there, that's a really confusing one. It's like, it's kind of like looking at like hell or heaven, hell or heaven, hell or heaven, hell. It's like actually debating internally what is better. And I think that that's something that it doesn't have to be so focused upon. Like it's pretty clear, but it's like almost like trying to overanalyze something that doesn't need to be overanalyzed. It's pretty clear. It's septic tank or jacuzzi.
Come on, guys. It's pretty clear. Okay, let's choose one of these.
Yeah.
Passion.
Damn.
Okay, so passion is not lust. There's a distinction there. Because lust is just like, oh yeah, they're hot, I want to bang. But then passion is like, this card kind of shows it's a back and forth energy. I mean, you can't really see it, but it's a push and a pull. It's a repulsion and an attraction, you know, and that means that somebody has to be meeting you on that level. You can't just want them for one aspect of their archetype. It's really about heart to heart. The card says, rise passion, rise up high, inflame my purpose, reach the sky. So shared passions, 9th house, where are we going? Where do we really want to go down the road? Not just in the next 2 hours with somebody, but where do we want to go personally in the next 9 months, in the next year? Are they somebody that can respect your passion? Are they somebody that can join you in that passion?
Yeah.
And is it more than just about the passion that's in the bedroom? Because
our final card, this is the spiritual advice card, is Ace of Rods.
Whoa.
So yeah, I think that this is about new starts, new loves, new love interests, but also empowerment of a new story, you know, like, and I think that this is about new stories and not trying to revive this kind of Piscean, cloudy, really weird, subconscious drowning that is going on.
Drowning dream. Yeah, it's about rotting it up, and that means getting your spine straight and connecting to your pineal
because I also,
gland.
whenever I do this, I always put this on the challenge card, which is the second card, which that Ace of Rods over focus is like, why don't you just focus on what's new and gonna bridge you to the most beautiful, higher, loving places of growth. I love the Ace of Rods in this deck because it shows like the growing of something, the actual, like, it's like new spurt of growth.
Right, but it's fresh and new, so you got to nurture it.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that it makes it to its full capacity in your life.
100%. Cancers, man. Woo! Venus in the third
in
Sag.
Wow.
I think that's a little weird.
That is weird. But I think
it's a little contradicting. I think it's about looking at your overall beliefs and where you want to go, and then looking at your environment and making sure that belief system, that adventure, that viewpoint analytically makes sense for the relationships and the self-worth. I think that it's like, you can have a vision of something, but if like every day you're coming home and it's like, it doesn't like it, it's like Edward Scissorhands and yeah.
Shared ideals.
Boom.
Boom.
So Cancer be thrown out.
Okay, I'll get rid of these.
All right. Oh, let me.
Oh.
Virgos.
Hey, Virgos. How you living? Hey, Kim.
I'll pick the first one for Virgos. We're going to mix it up today. I feel like Virgos need to hear a little bit of this. We got crystals. I think that
Virgos, you're dating your crystals this week.
Well, I think that this energy is like really, we use crystals, of course, to kind of like amplify things or to deal with things. But, you know, there is this unicorn here. So maybe there is something to say about like, is there the true magic? And this is a card that I've always felt like is like, where is the unicorn in this story? Are you denying yourself of it? Have you found that? But I think that, you know, this is also a card that says like, the crystalline form is so beautiful and how much pressure that it takes. And I think that for you this week in love, there's going to be, or for 2022, there's going to be a lot of pressure to make your love life the true crystalline form you want it to be. But I think you cannot be afraid to get on that unicorn. I think that there's a lot of fear right now for Virgos with all this Capricorn in the 5th house in the South Node there. There's something missing in the heart. There's like this fear of like actually going for their true happiness. And I feel like the crystal energy is helping. It's like, we use crystals to assist us, and it's almost like this unicorn comes in to assist us as well, to take us where we need to go. So there's something about us, our Virgos, having to not be afraid to step into a cleaner and better, more crystalline form of the love life that they want. And that starts within themselves first, big time. Because I think that this is and it's like, yeah, maybe, you know what, unicorns actually do exist. But it's like, do you deny yourself of that? Virgos can be very analytical and say, no, that don't exist. Not every single Virgo, but.
Or like, maybe you feel like the unicorn's not practical or something, but actually that's what your heart needs, is something that's a little less practical. And letting yourself have that, letting yourself have that special person in your life that holds the magic for you. Maybe it's a Pisces. There's a great thing between Virgos and Pisces, I think, when it's understood, the roles that each one plays.
Very much so. Why don't you pick that challenge card there, whatever you're feeling challenge-wise?
It's enchantment. Wow.
Oh, that goes so well with this whole unicorn story here. That's a challenge.
And you've got little, like, sea dragon, Capricornish kind of looking thing. I think that just doubles down on what we just said. Yeah. It's like, we know you, Virgo. You have got the analytical stuff, the details, the brass tacks. You've got that covered. Maybe it's just about inviting more enchantment into your world and understanding that that's healthy, that is actually a healthy balance for you, to have someone that maybe isn't so practical. And it's not just a burden to have someone unpractical around you. It's like, it's time to shine up your heart, and like a crystal, make it polished and shiny and glittery, not kind of just like, whoa, we're trudging through all the tasks that we have to get to.
Yeah, it's like rigidness against magic, rigidness against what could be something beautiful.
And actually, when you bring rigidness and magic together, you can really create more than each individual one, because you've got that nice structure and then you've got the magic to fill it with.
But just rigid with no magic is rigid.
Hard work. And just magic with no rigid is just dreaming. So finding that primal balance of your archetype. This one?
Yeah, go for it. Oh, wow. Solar Eclipse, the Revolution card. Yep. So we just had one in your 5th house, but I think at the same time, whenever the Solar Eclipse card does pop up, you got to remember that it's dramatic. It's dramatic, and it also is life-changing, and it also is revolutionary, but it does deal like full-blown with situations that cannot be denied with anymore. So it's like there is something to say about this dramatic event that is happening in your life right now, where there is a full realization. It's burned itself into your soul, and finally, as if I lit a cigarette right now and burned it on your arm, like, I see it now.
Yeah, and I'm really feeling just intuitively that for Virgos, it's like coming clean with your needs. Like, what do you really, really need in your life? Who do you really need in your life? And are you asking for that? Because, Virgos want to take and do all the things themselves and kind of provide for themselves and just keep it all nice and tidy. But maybe it's about asking for more of that enchantment that you really deserve. Maybe it's about asking for the people in your life to make you feel polished like a crystal and like loved and shiny. Maybe it's just about using that really direct power that Virgos can have to opening up your heart more in a more honest way, instead of just trying to meet all your needs yourself. I think that's vulnerability that will really serve you in this revolution that you're undergoing.
Devil reversed. You're pulling yourself out of a tormenting situation. I feel that you've been somewhat tormenting yourself. I feel that also somebody could also have been kind of holding you in kind of a fear-based situation, or trying to put themselves in a position of showing themselves as like, if you don't have me, then you won't have nothing, or that you will never have love without me, or even dealing with people who have some fucked up issues or problems, or put you to places that you don't even want to be. That has to be confronted, and the enchantment is the only thing that is going to get rid of that devil. But you know, you are being released of a toxic situation within yourself and or a partnership. And I think that there is a major release happening here that is beautiful, but you have to be aware of it. And I think that especially with Uranus and trine to Mercury and with the solar eclipse that happened, Uranus is in the 9th house for all Virgos. Like, you have to go experience new things. That's why that crystal card has shown up with the unicorn. Like, you think an adventure outside of gates that you're so afraid to go outside, you think like you're gonna go walk into like the darkest forest ever. It's like, no, Taurus is beautiful. It's like gardeny, like it's got crystals there, it's got unicorns. Like, Taurus Uranus is like this wild, amazing like forest that's like you seem to think is like the dark forest of death.
No, it's the beautiful garden, and you're the gardener, and now you get to go and like do this whole new level of magic and enchantment there once you decide that you deserve it, and that it's okay to want that, and that it's okay to drop any, you know, familial past life conditioning that says that you have to come last and take care of everyone else and just, you know, be that kind of maid figure. And then I got courage. So like, boom, it's time to step out with your needs, go towards the real crystalline future, and take those shackles of the devil off, because they're not locked anyway.
Yeah, Ganesha says on that devil, determination.
Okay, Virgos, it's clear.
It's clear, and I think that it's about the determination to have the life that you really want instead of, you know, backing down from that. I think that there's like a pull towards something that actually is pulling you away from the truth, you know, and it's like a fear. There's a lot of fear, but the determination to see, especially with the challenges of enchantment, it's like, if it's not enchanting anymore, like the determination to get you there is there. Ganesha will open up every door. And a solar eclipse revolution, and especially because the solar eclipse happened in your 5th house. I mean, come on. Like, this is an apparent situation that is going on with your happiness, your overall heart space. And there's, especially with the devil reversed, obsession that of something or whatever that you need to release, something that needs to be released of, like also like an overcompensation for what makes happiness, but denies yourself of true happiness.
Yeah, and things that are like just siphoning your life force. Boom.
Cancer, Mercury. Yeah. That means the reality, it's Mercury in the 6th is Virgo anyway, but it's like in Cancer, it's like, I think that the emotions need to really start to be processed 100%. And you have to actually really start to look at how your reality is starting to be based upon the emotional positions that you're at. Does this actually feel like it's operating and moving, or have you moved into a mundane situation that the emotions are not being fully met? You know, I think that's kind of a hard space for the moon. The moon does not really like to be in the 6th house, to be honest with you. There's enemies in the 6th house, especially that devil reversed. The 6th house has to also deal with, you know, the mundane. So it's like, are you in a mundane emotional situation in reality? And can you finally find the emotional needs that aren't so mundane and operate to actually give you the true emotion that you want?
Boom.
Boom. We got Pisces. Damn.
Hey. It's our time, Pisces.
It's your Pisces, you Paul.
Okay. I'm going to go for the real deal.
Go for the real deal.
All right, Pisces.
Yeah, I mean, all this is 11th house, all this Capricorn. I mean, the biggest ever. The people you hang around is everything. And where love will go with the North Node of Cancer. And with Mars finishing in Scorpio in the 9th, going into the 10th. It's time to face your big journey now of big decisions.
Flip it over. Oh. Boom.
Three of Swords reversed. But I think that this is you getting over heartbreak. So
it is, but you got to feel it to heal it.
Yeah, I think that Pisces have been feeling a lot of loneliness and heartbreak, or situations that didn't go the way they wanted to. But you are being released to that this week. But I think that it's determined around a lot of things that are going on with The truth.
Oh.
We did get the truth with the quill, like, or the feather.
The feather of Isis, basically.
Yeah, it's what?
Because, like, you know, in Muat or Isis's legend, it's like when you go to heaven, she weighs your heart against a feather, and if it's lighter than a feather, you get to pass into heaven, and if it's full of regrets, you go back down.
Wow.
And you work it out.
There it is.
So I think the Pisces are, you know, it's up to you. It's really up to you. If you want to hold on to the regret, you want to let that be what takes you into the next cycle, or do you really just want to, I think in a really devotional way, give it up to God. Maybe you fucked it up, Pisces. Maybe someone else did. But no matter the case, what's really important now is that we lighten the load emotionally so that we can rise higher, because we have so far to go this year, Pisces. All right, let's do this one.
Jupiter return. There's a lot of benefits. I think, yeah. Once you face the truth of what is sour, there is a return to a beneficial place in your life of expansion. Especially
Absolutely.
Jupiter and Capricorn is the world that you want. Like somebody who really fits in the world you want. I think that's a big one. Because it's like, if I mix the astrology in, it's like a Pisces is not going to want to go swim with dolphins if it's like a
Catfish.
Yeah. And not saying that Pisces are all catfish, but
No, yeah. it's
whatever
just
you determine. Like,
whatever
you know,
fish
like
you
the
are.
great whites don't like to swim with killer whales because the killer whales actually kill the great whites. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And salmon swim upstream and other fish don't, but they like that. So
Yeah, and like goldfish, like to chill and
they forget their whole life every 3 seconds.
that makes a lot of sense for Pisces. But you know, I feel that there's a lot to look for and see. And I think that if you deny yourself the truth of where something is sour or something is just, because sometimes, you know, that 3 of Swords is like denial of heartbreak, like, or denial of truthful situations that are going on that are not dealing with the truth of where your heart really is at. And I think that has to be faced this week in order to get the ultimate return.
So no more hiding.
And it's 3 of Cups reversed. I think that, yeah, it's like the people around are not really the people that are in alignment with the kind of place you want to be. So think of yourself like at a party. If you were at a party and you were, okay, we're throwing a high vibe party for New Year's Eve, but like you were really wanting to go worship the devil and you came to a high vibe party, you'd be like, I want to leave.
Right. There we go.
It's like, or like, let's say you're really into, I don't know, music, and you went to a place that was just going to talk about reading.
Silence.
It was a reading club. And they were like, well, we can't listen to music because we're reading. It's like,
Right. And you're not going to get your benefits from your Jupiter return if you're not honest about where you belong. Because those benefits are arriving in your desired 11th house, your truly aligned one, not why, like Pisces, why are you in denial? Like, come on.
let's find out.
Get it out.
I pulled 2 cards. Saturn, the karmic path, and divinity reversed. Picking partners that are on a karmic path of showing you where you're falling away from your divinity.
Uh-oh.
And friendships and groups and people that are not truly in the divine place and the divinity that you believe in. And I think that karmic energy is here to remind you of picking people, picking friendships, and picking people that have groups that connect with the true divinity, that connect with the place that you want to be, instead of continually kind of picking somebody who's off the path, but you're going to try and bring them in. And that's kind of the collective energy right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of being kind of sentimented right here, especially dealing with more groups and the alliances. And does the person that you choose have an alliance kind of group or core that would make sense for you? Or are they the one who, sure, maybe they might be into it, but they hang around a bunch of people who worship the devil. So it's kind of like, well, that kind of contradicts. Like, I guess every like Christmas, I'm going to have to like debate on whether we're going to go to the devil worshiper house.
No, Pisces, no. Let's not. Let's do one more.
All right, it's all good. Inspiration.
Isis. I said that at the beginning.
Yes, you did.
Okay. Inspiration. And this is this is the gift of that 61st gate that Saturn Pluto will be conjoining in. You know, it can either be psychosis, where we're just at odds with all of our own thoughts because we're not being truthful to ourselves, or it can be inspiration, where that same pressure to figure out our lives gets rerouted into true beauty. So, Isis, goddess of magic, I ask thee to bring your inspiration to me.
Boom.
And Isis is pictured here with her divine counterpart, Osiris. So I think that's real talk, Pisces. It's pretty clear.
5th house, Taurus, Saturn. I think that, one, you have to start to look at the value of your heart space and make choices and grow up. Instead of choosing things, especially you think money will make you happy, or some sort of, you know, I don't know, vanity will make you happy. I think Saturn's reminding you of, like, no, it's like the best things that make you happy in the heart. Fun, excitement, true abundance, because that will create whatever you want. Not this whole kind of like, I'm in it for the money, or I'm in it for
the connections.
The connections, or even like I'm in it for just even a physical aspect that will make you happy, like, oh, a house or some sort of Taurian thing, right? Like a car, or, you know, it's like
they're really beautiful, so that's why I picked them. It's like,
that comes up too. But it's like, but they don't make you happy at all. They're screaming like, "Get me this now!"
They don't actually trust you. You don't actually trust them. You just want that pretty picture. That's not going to work out, Pisces.
No.
Next.
I was on that show. Oh. You picked this time.
Okay. Aries. Aries.
Aries got a lot of interesting love aspects going on because it's so much career-based stuff, 10th house stuff, but then Venus is in the 11th. You know, again, that kind of goes a little bit, they are the sign right before or after Pisces, but, you know, there is something to say of this North Node in the 4th, this true home. I think foundation is needed so you can go where you need to go, Aries. So you need to find relationships that bring you home, that are going to be supportive of you, so you can do the big things in life. And I also feel with Mars finishing in Scorpio in the 8th, it's like, you know, I think you're dealing with a lot of your shadow stuff and your deeper needs and wants. And I think with it coming into the 9th this week, it's like, what love, you know, really supports you and your mission and your expansion and your adventure. They're excited for that. They see the same visions as you. They see the same areas, but they also know the seriousness of where you're taking your life, and that they're willing to support that. Because if they're not going to be, you're going to be kind of on a, you know, or if you don't have that, like in yourself, I think that Aries, like, you're going to realize that you're going to have some partnership issues with people because maybe your path doesn't go with the path of your partner. Yeah, no, that's a big one for Aries right now. It's like your path and your partner's path is everything, and whether or not it's truly in alignment and the long-term destiny goals position, period. And you get along with the people that hang around there with Venus and Aquarius. Like, that is something that Aries need. Like, Aries like to go out and socialize, believe it or not. And they like to be around people that are in the same kind of clubs or the same kind of vibe that they're in. Like, if there's none of that going on, Aries, in your life, or your partner is in weird places that you don't like to connect with, like, there's an issue there. You want to go? You pick first.
Confidence. And this lady's got horns, so she's the perfect Aries.
A little malefic energy of her.
By earth and air, water and fire, let my confidence take light and burn higher. So yeah, tough decisions, Aries, because if that mature path that you're looking at that really is going to take you higher does not include the someone that you have these really sweet feelings for, it's like, it's hard to make that choice, to be like, you know, we have to talk, like, we're not going in the same place. But if you do it with confidence, it's going to transform your spectrum, basically what you can manifest, and it's going to give you this, it's going to show you the strength that you do have. Because when you can step up and have those mature conversations, spiritually, romantically, then you grow as a person, you grow as an energy, and you grow, you do, you know, burn higher and take light.
Yeah, speaking of growing, let's pull a Ganesha for the challenge. We haven't pulled Ganesha as a challenge yet, and I just been feeling The growth issue is embracing.
Oh.
Not only embracing the confidence, but I think that what you could be embracing could be a challenge. Maybe you're embracing something that's not giving you confidence, or you're having to prove yourself, but that's not something to embrace. I think that you have to embrace now the confidence of who you really are and find something that embraces you fully. If there's even a doubt about the embracement aspect of what is there, and I think that brings up commitment. I think that brings up also, you know, the true form of embracing something is you giving yourself that nurturing energy away to somebody, right? You're embracing it. You're taking it in. It's a receiving element.
Oh, I just saw the rat.
You know, the rat pops up with Ganesha a lot.
She's embracing the rat. Okay, crazy. So I think also Aries, it also could be like the challenge of you might actually just like 11th house status, come into a space and meet somebody, and it could be really, really good. And it could be really, really good for this whole year. I know that's very optimistic, but do you dare embrace something that maybe just comes out of left field? Just my Pisces take. Patience. I
think that's a lot of that 10th house stuff and all this Capricorn. I think a lot of it is like, be patient with, like, I think you're right. Something new and exciting and that to embrace comes in, but then be patient with how the process goes.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Not to get like, okay, I embraced you fully, so now you need to be taking showers with me every day and every morning. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, well, hold on here. Like, you know, like, it's okay. Like, we're still embraced, but like, you know, like, come on. Like, you know, like.
Let's turn the storybook, you know,
I'm not going to wipe your butt
time.
with wet naps yet.
Right, and this actually even says April 15th to May 12th on here. So perhaps that's a great timeline for you to consider having more patience and maybe holding the reins a little bit with how enthusiastic you want to dive into a new bond. Because again, in a rat year, which is what is being embraced here, you know, you're going to want to work on your own schemes first and foremost. And if you are just so into being completely enmeshed and embraced into another person, you could miss first 3 months of your opportunities this year, which you will regret.
Why is the universe bringing this embrace? Ace of Cups upright. Wow. There is something new coming in. There is something beautiful emotionally coming in. And then I think what the patience is that you need to not fuck it up by how it should look, how it should be. Embrace it and accept it for what it is. And I think that's all the patience really is too, is like, right? It's like being patient with what is fully embraced.
And confidence, meaning check your insecurity, because that's what comes up in relationships when something new and amazing comes into your life.
Why are we getting confidence? Temperance.
Again, you've got to just temper it. You've got to keep it,
naturally,
you've got to keep the fire a little bit contained.
And it's not creating another dramatic situation either. Confidence without drama. Because I feel that Aries are in dramatic kind of situations or wanting a dramatic situation. I think the patience is saying like, hey, like, this is something really good. Like, be patient about your actions and your confidence and how you embrace it and accept this amazing Ace of Cups upright, Temperance upright, which is a patient energy, that Temperance card. But it brings no drama and it brings something beautiful and it brings something real. I want to find out the patience thing. Yeah, you're building something beautiful. 3 of Pentacles upright. But you also could be dealing with the third person, you know, or between a couple people, or you might be like having to leave somebody to go into something new. But, you know, it's about actually building something that actually is going to form into some sort of structure that's great or some sort of creation that's great.
And it could be somebody that's more stable than you're used to, which might at first seem like boring or a turnoff or, you know, something that you're not as eager to embrace because it's not as exciting. But I think as this is really a great year to have patience, like, we want to see what can stand the test of time, because if it does, it'll take us into happiness for many years to come.
Yes, it will. Wow.
So
it's actually great.
Beautiful, Aries. It's exciting.
Mercury and Leo in the 9th. Yeah, you need to be optimistic. You need to be excited for love. There is messages of love coming this week about a bigger vision, and it's going to show you a whole different road. And I think that you need to listen to that road, and you need to listen to that message, and you can't just start denying that message. You need to be open to the message. You need to be open to the calling. And I also think that this is also showing you that there is other love out there. There is other forms of love that you didn't ever experience before. And that it's time for you to try to understand that. It's try to make that into your environment. And you need to look at your environment and go, is this really love? Or is this like, I'm missing out on something because it's just so dramatic. I think that this doesn't have to be dramatic. I think it could be positive drama in the sense of a positive motion of moving something beautiful and forward instead of a dramatic, chaotic, kind of like overly stimulated idea of love that's
white
not.
Water river rafting. It's like, kayaking on a pond. Maybe it's time for that for
you.
you.
Or even cruising in a yacht.
I know you Aries gonna like that. Yacht life.
Yacht life.
Yacht life.
We got Taurus's Abby Money Hun.
Hey Abby, you're doing a great job over there decorating the...
She's still in the Lotus 10.
Well, I'm pretending she is, so I can say that.
Yeah, Taurus has got a big, great week. I was excited for Tauruses, and I looked at the astrology this week, especially for love, just because Mars finishes in their 7th house, relationships goes in the 8th, and I think it's about all this Jupiter energy for the last year in the 8th house was like, you can trust again. Now Mars is going to put you to the test. Face it. Have courage to go into things. It's a little bit like the embrace card for the Aries.
One foot in front of the other,
and
Taurus.
There's that 9th house Capricorn saying like, old stories do not have to repeat. New ones can come and to expand. Like this is an expanding moment for Taurus. Is Uranus in your own sign? There's gonna be the moon this weekend in your sign with Uranus there. This is like trying to form a whole entire new world for you for love, excitement, and a whole new place that you've never been before. And it's funny because I'm looking at the love wall when I just said that.
And I think Tauruses are leading. I feel like, from what I've seen, the Tauruses in my life are really, in a really natural way, not like a gung-ho way, but just in a really natural, organic, earthy way, are leading us into that new Uranian energy, maybe without even realizing it, which is really cool. And I think
that's usually Uranus.
But maybe with the moon.
Oh, wait, what? I'm actually a leader right now. What the fuck?
But maybe with the moon coming in, like this will be a moment where you'll see yourself and what you're actually doing. Thanks
for that donation in there. I just saw it last second. I want to say real quick too that the astrology for Taurus is it is a moment where it's like Taurus finally, because Jupiter Saturn met in Taurus in 2000. So the Jupiter Saturn conjunction that's coming in 2020, even though it's December 21st, 2020, the exact, it's going to end the 20-year cycle of this, like you having to figure out who you are in the biggest way to do the biggest work of your whole life. So you need a partnership now that is part of that new big vision and not part of those old visions.
We got prosperity. As this tree grows so strong, so fine, so may I prosper from the universal divine. And the third gate is in Taurus in the human design system. It is all about new beginnings. It is about that fresh, new, mutative energy that perhaps in the beginning is a little bit troublesome because, we have mistakes and we have to go through the trial and error. But ultimately, it's what gives rise to completely new forms. So
what part is that in? Is that in?
That's actually right in the sacral, connecting down into the root. So it's a format channel, which is one of the most powerful channels in the body graph.
And for, creating, right?
Yeah, it's like literally like the tree sprouting. It's the uprising of new energies. And it's really about innocence, creating through innocence.
Interesting. I'm feeling, wow. There's a lot of options out there. That's the challenge. 7 and illusions sometimes too. 7 of Cups upright as the challenge position. You could be a little bit like feeling like you're a little hazy. There's so many different options, and sometimes you can get caught up on too many options too. But like this is about removing like, hey, this isn't that prosperous. It might look fun. I always love the 7 of Cups because they always show 7 different scenarios. There's a dragon in this one. It's like, okay, yeah, that might be like really wild and crazy and fun. And then they've got, like
we've got a mask,
celebration, like
reef,
work, like drama,
a serpent,
love,
a lady, a riches, a tower.
I think
and
it's
a
about
dragon.
that you could have everything all in one person instead of seeing it like through 7 different individuals and then and being like, oh, that's what I like the most. I like this the most. So I'm picking that person. It's like, no, why don't you see that prosperity comes when there's somebody that embodies all the things that you want? Instead of it being so separatist, you know, like, well, they're great here, but they really suck there. So I'm going to choose that one because that one's a little bit better.
Right.
It's like, that's not going to be
Empress.
a leader because then you're not getting the full gauntlet.
7 cups full of joy.
I mean, it's a great card because it is a lot of prizes, but it's a lot. I mean, it reminds me of going to, well, they call it Boomers now, but it used to be called Palace Park. It's like, you know, it's like, and then I used to go to Bullwinkle's. Yeah, you know, Bullwinkle's. And it was like, you got tickets and then you went to go get your prize at the end and there's a lot of prizes. And it's like, do you put all of it on that one bigger prize or do you buy a bunch of little prizes? And I think 7 is cups is like, well, I'd rather have a bunch of things, but you know those things are going to be in the trash in a day.
Yeah.
It's like at
that
least
sticky hand is going to get dirty. And
yeah, at least get the baseball card or at least get the whatever it is. Back then they used to do that. It was like cool shit, like baseball bat
Furby.
or it was even a slinky or, you know,
a boomerang.
Yeah, it was like something cool.
So
or it was like here's a lollipop and a.
Remember the sticky hands where you like?
Yeah. And those were
the
cool.
best.
Yeah, those were cool. But those were a little pricey.
And then they got dirt all over them, and
Or Fun Dips. Like Fun Dip is great, but it goes by fast.
Yeah.
And then you don't finish the dip, and then you eat the stick, and then you're like, ugh.
The stick.
I do like
Chalk.
Fun Dips. I always loved the chalk stick.
You would. Wait, real quick. Which cup would you pick if you had to? Like out of the dragon and the wreath and.
Me?
Yeah. What's calling to you?
The woman with the blonde.
I knew.
I mean, the feminine, like, love, like, you know.
I'm drawn to the serpent for some reason.
Maybe that's where you need to be kind of going more towards in your life right now.
What? Reptiles?
Maybe.
I think it's knowledge. Serpent to me represents like wisdom.
I just think because I have a Taurus moon, so I'm like looking for the beauty, and that's the most beautiful thing in that card, so.
Right. I mean, the jewels are enticing, but I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not too into jewels. Like, if I lose this, like, you know, whatever.
Beep, 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 beep. Earth.
That's grounding for sure.
That was a cool sound effect back there.
Was it about the jewels? Oh, never mind.
Okay.
Lotus tent.
They don't.
The high vibe Lotus tent is that noises coming out everywhere. But I think, yeah, this is about grounding into something that actually is going to make sense, then do something beautiful and prosper. I mean, to have prosperity with Earth card is amazing. I think it is the emotional moving around too much.
Right. We're tilling the whole field. You can't just like till a little and then leave and go do stuff. It's like you have to keep slowly massaging the earth, getting it ready for this big, beautiful harvest.
Yeah, like a 2-minute massage is not going to be as good as a 30-minute massage.
Yeah, you need the first 30 minutes to like loosen up anyway.
Yeah.
It's really the hour that gets you there.
Right. And then that last 30 is usually when it gets sensual and it's like more. It's like it feels comforting.
Yeah, and you really get in those deep areas.
Those deep knots. What do we got for
Ganesha?
Yeah, you got
Clear your energy.
So you put that with the earth energy. I was going for the challenge, which is 8 of Wands reversed, which is like,
slow down.
Don't go backwards either.
Yeah, you don't have to rush
don't go
into
back to
making
past
choices.
partnerships that you felt were prosperous. I think what that's saying is past prizes you've had, you want again because you've already know that it's good. But because of the astrology, it's saying that this is not to be afraid to throw those arrows into a place of prosperity you've never been before because it'll be more prosperous than you've ever been. And this is where you clear the energy of the old.
Yeah, Uranus is like, we need new earth energy.
Yeah.
In Taurus.
Boom.
Hit them dice. Snake eyes.
I got Virgo, 5th house, Uranus.
Ooh, that's weird.
That is really weird. That is, I would say, a wild new reality that actually makes more sense to happiness by taking a little bit more risk in the reality in the day-to-day world and looking at your day-to-day world and making sure that it's taking you to places you've never been before will take you happier instead of doing the same mundane thing over and over again and denying yourself and trying to reconnect old systems of your life that you think will bring happiness, because it's not. Every time you keep going backwards into something old that you've done before, and that this, Virgo has a sense of safety in the head of like, this is my system, I get in my car this way, I start it this way, I make my food this way, I eat this, I eat that, it's like, it becomes OCD. With Uranus there, it's trying to create, like, get out of your OCD of the way that things have always been and change things up. You'll be a lot happier.
All right.
I'll pick the cards that you pick the next sign.
Yes. My favorite job.
It's a good job.
Oh, I saw that one, so I'm not going to pick it. So it's Cappies.
Capricorns. Happy birthday, Caps.
Hey, Sarah.
Yeah, the Caps going through a
Auntie
lot.
Jen and all the other wonderful Caps.
Yeah, there's a lot of Capricorns out there. A lot of Cap energy of the true self and the true identity. With South Node there, it's a little difficult with Mercury, Jupiter right now. But I think coming into 2020, it is about, with this North Node in Cancer, like, you don't want to be alone, one. I don't think you can do this alone, Capricorn. It's too big, too many planets in your sign. You have big goals, but doing it alone with North Node in Cancer is going to be hard. With Uranus in the 5th too, it's like the creative energy is there, but when you take a look at this Venus in your second house, like, yeah, you want to create, but again, no Capricorn can ever build anything without people. That's why the second house is Aquarius. Mm-hmm. And so I think that Capricorns have to pick their people and avoid, well, I think especially with Mars moving into Sag, it's like all the subconscious stuff you thought you understood is about to be faced with Mars. So it's like,
sounds fun.
For love, it's like when you thought it was all cleared out, this is where you face it. And this is where you don't go down old roads. This is where you clear out old roads and expand into new, more beautiful ones, and have the courage to now. Psychic. That card's interesting because it's 2 circles.
That's the Vesica Pisces.
I don't know, Jax, if you want to do like Cam 2, but
they can see it. Oh, there it is. That's like the womb of creation.
It's almost like, I think there's a lot of telepathic communication going on between a Capricorn and somebody this week, love-wise, or throughout this whole year of 2020. It's like there is a little bit of this like knowing, but it's psychic knowing. But that can be a little difficult. Yeah. Right. It's almost like having to come out and say what you psychically feel.
Ooh. Challenge for the Caps.
It's not even a challenge. This is going to be the challenge. North Node, life's purpose. Like, the challenge is you psychically know the life's purpose and where it's going and where the North Node is taking you, but it's almost like you're avoiding going and wanting to stay in the K2 South Node safety net of what's already been embodied, what life debts are already there. But I think the psychic energy is trying to take you to a better place and take you to your ultimate destiny. But it's one thing to go on it, it's another to psychically know it, but it's another to actually do it and actually connect the dots of that psychic energy that you feel and not deny yourself of the life's purpose that is connecting you with some deep connection.
Come on, Cappies, lighten up. Just go for it. Nope, you pick another one.
King of Cups reversed. So I think that, this has been a very challenging time emotionally, of feeling empowered in oneself emotionally and feeling secure and stable emotionally. But I think that this is where it's like a lot of that is due to the fact that you're not sure about where you're going with your life's purpose. And a lot of that is because you're not listening to the psychic energy that you're feeling, or you're not willing to come out with it and speak about it emotionally or own it emotionally. I think that it's time for you to own emotionally the purpose and what you're feeling psychically that's coming through.
Own it. Thanks, Eclipse and Love, for that.
How do they get through their challenge?
Yep, it's this one. It's this one right here. Balanced career and home life. Isis again.
Isis, wow, she keeps popping up for you. And she's, again, this is a very Capricorn life lesson, being a Capricorn, right? Like, without no foundation emotionally, and especially that's the 7th house is Cancer for Capricorns. It's like, how are you going to get on this big thing? No king or queen or Isis, was there to support a big thing. It's not like she was alone.
Right, and when she went through her tough time when Osiris was killed by his brother Set, she relied on her sister Hathor to revive her enough to even go on the mission that would define her entire, mythology. So, it is about leaning on those really important spiritual connections. And even if you don't think that the other person sees you that way, maybe it's time to just go through that process of leaning on them with your North Node Cancer vulnerability progression. And it's like you get deeper mastery. They get to show you the things that, like the pieces of your puzzle that they're there to show you.
What's this 41 gate? Is there a 41 gate?
Oh yeah, that's Aquarius. That's actually the start codon of the genetic code. So that's what we face in January 21st in Human Design New Year. So that's what says, yo, you're empty. Like that's what says, you're hungry, go do something about it. You're lacking something, go do something about it. There's a limitation, now find the solution to leap over it.
And
so
that's
it's a provocation. Yeah.
But I think that balance and that Isis, I love how you bring up too, with especially like Set, right? It's like, that's where we get the whole idea of sunset. And, like I think that Capricorns have to realize like your sun is not just setting into some dark realm and then you have to be alone, even if you are in a partnership, right? Like I think it's like you can embody somebody who's there with you through both the dark and the light, the work and the place where you, re-emerge to do your great work.
Some dice. 6th house Mercury and Pisces.
It's Mars.
It is?
Or is that Venus?
It's
Venus, yeah.
Did I say Mercury? Whoops. 9th house actually, right?
Yeah, Venus in the 9th and Pisces. I mean, this is about believing in the psychic visions that you're having.
Yeah. So if you're
not crazy.
Yeah, you're not crazy. And if you're seeing that divine counterpart, kind of going back to the collective reading, it's like you can believe that. You can believe that is a true connection. If you're truly balanced in your career and home life. If you don't have that core stability, maybe it's not time to jump for something that you're psychically picking up on. But if you can trust yourself in this moment, whoa, that's a huge progression. That's a huge evolution. It's like a Kundalini rising, and that's a big energy.
That is big energy. Big league.
Well, Caps, you have that stellium. So
yeah. I'm going to pick this, and I have to run and pee really bad. I don't want to pee on set. Libra gang.
So we've got lots of lovely Libras around the studio. We have, of course, the inimitable Jax Atlantis, who's just the purest light. And we have Anne, who's kind of behind the scenes more. She's always here balancing out almost every aspect that comes up at the studio. And she's actually a historian and just a wonderful person with very beautiful hair. And I'm going to look at the chat right now and see what you guys say while David is peeing. You can ask me a question in the chat for fun real quick, guys. Come on. Well, I'm just going to pick the first card for Libra. So I'm thinking it's going to be this deck here. Oh, Libras. It's abundance. Where's the camera? Abundance, abundance, abundance. And this is a beautiful card. It actually says on it, cinnamon, cloves, and orange peel, kind of in this round circle. And it's got this Egyptian priestess of abundance on it. So this is all about using your magic affinity as a Libra, and perhaps using cinnamon, clove, and orange peel in a spell to begin the process of inviting more abundance into your life. I feel like all this tough stuff that Libras have been through since Saturn was moving through their sign, which was a long time ago, but I feel like it really kind of carried for Libras. And there has been like a sense of heaviness for Libras, even as we move through lighter times in your sign. I think it's really, really time to be like, okay, the past is over. The hardships may have been a bit traumatic, but I'm ready and willing to just completely shed that and just like accept that you've done your karmic work and you deserve more. You deserve more, Libras. And that's okay. It's not bad to want more. And it's time to embrace that.
What's going on?
Libra's got abundance. And I was just walking them through their past a little bit and how it's time to really be okay with asking
All
for
these
more.
Capricorns in their 4th house. Talk about the past.
Yeah.
Foundation, roots. But there's abundance in where you choose your roots.
And I think it's also about like choosing better roots or like better foundations. Like Libras they're very service oriented people. They're always helping other people. They're always around other energies. What do you come home to? Like, is it really the home and the foundation that you really deserve? Like when you look in the mirror, do you ask yourself those kind of questions? Because Libras can kind of lose themselves around other people. And I think this is just, I mean, it's like a capital A, which is like number one, like what do I need? And then inviting that in. Come on, Sprite. Come through with that endorsement already.
All right. I'm feeling this challenge for Librans. This moon in Aries is in their relationship house, squaring all this Capricorn this week. So there's a lot of relationship, emotional things going on here. I'm picking this card for challenge. Ooh, the meditate. But it's a meditate card that this one's always funny because it's like about to become a knot, you know, like wrapped around their arm. And I think that this is definitely going to be where you have to really go like, are you putting all that abundant energy into something that you need to take the time to make sure that you're not getting yourself stuck into something that can hold you back? Because that's one thing is Libras know how to really get stuck for a while. But you can avoid that finally.
Yeah.
And you can stick yourself from missing out on something great too. You know what I mean? Like it's either or. It's like, are you going to miss out on abundance because you're going to tie yourself to something that's not that abundant? Like, you know, like maybe staying in the drama of some situation that you hope will become abundant. So it's almost like, don't tie yourself to that. But I think that you need to get really clear.
And meditation usually happens by yourself. So if you're one of those Librans that's always running around saving everybody else's life and wiping their butt for them, like go ahead and shut the door and really tap in, because you are psychic as AF as a Libra. Tap in and see what you can create. Because like as a Libra, you just do that one little bit and really ask those questions. Boom, boom, boom. You can have it.
So we just did the 41 gate. What's the 40 gate?
40th is about being loved for the work that you do for your community.
So you were just talking about that, how Libras can kind of be the service-oriented person. But I think it's about meditating on where that really is going and what.
But it's also the gate of denying people's access to you because you need rest and you need to be respected in your space because you do something.
Is that in the spleen?
It's in the heart.
Whoa.
It's actually
there's only a couple.
There's
gates
only 4.
Wow.
This one's actually the gate of the stomach. So it's like the one that
from the heart down in the stomach.
It's like how we digest.
It's like acid reflux almost.
It can be if you're not in the right position, but it's like how we digest our food and then that food gets released to the rest of our body. So it's like a distribution energy. But that valve has to close sometimes or else there is too much acid and it's not good. And
I want to ask you, human design, like, can anybody have that gate, or do you notice that certain types of human design have that gate open more than others? Like, because I've noticed, like, I'm an MG or an MG, we're manifesting generators. I don't see a lot of like defined hearts and a lot of heart stuff in a lot of MGs.
Yeah, that's interesting. There are definitely like subtler trends that are not necessarily like what the what the internet will tell you, like this is corresponding to this. But doing so many charts, I do see that like manifestors have defined hearts a lot because they need that extra energy to really push through. I think projectors have a lot of rare things going on, just like G, throat, or just ajna. But I think this is actually a Virgo gate 40.
Really?
And it's a generational
service. Yeah.
So there's a generational group of people that I think are big watchers of us that have Pluto and Virgo. And my mom does this too. So there's definitely a big potential for transformation when you can just say, no, I got to take a second and figure out what I want.
Yeah.
But it can feel very scary because in Pluto, it can be a deep unconscious fear of, if I push away, then I won't be loved or supported.
Yeah.
So again,
which is a trap anyway.
Totally. It's a trap of servitude.
Yeah.
So we're coming out of that, Libras. Come on.
What do you got next for us?
Boom.
Wow.
Yod.
The Yod Destiny card. But
so it's like, it's yours.
It is, but Yods are very uncomfortable angles, but then one beautiful angle. It's those 150s mixed with a 60-degree sextile. And they're very rare, And I think Yods remind us to focus. The God's telling you to focus on this one focal point. And it might be a little uncomfortable because Yods form based upon energies that don't make sense, like earth and fire, right? Like in weird angles that are in different modalities. Like a good Yod would be Sagittarius to Taurus, right? Fixed earth to mutable fire. Like what? Like that's a Yod. Or, like Libra air to Taurus fixed too. You know what I mean? It's like, what? Like, even though they're both Venus, but they're operating in different ways. So I think that this is like, where does destiny lie? Where even though you feel like you might be operating in ways that you're going to have to find some sort of connection, because I feel like Libras go where they kind of know already the vibe well enough, like in themselves, but it's usually when they're not afraid to go to something that's going to take them in a new space that it does much better for them. And I think that, but this is pointing at something, and I think it's pointing, it's funny as we're looking at this deck, it's actually pointing at the abundance card.
And these are fingers too. That could be God's hand.
Yeah. Well, how do we get over this challenge of the abundance? Yeah, you have to stand your ground. As you were saying, saying no, we got the 7 of Wands upright, but it also means like, you kind of have to fight for your position in abundance, like, and not like let down, it's kind of like not being afraid to what other people are going to say to you, right? Because you were saying earlier about that too.
They're going to say.
Yeah,
they may not even say anything. They'll probably say congratulations.
But it's being prepared for it by owning it and being like, I'm going to stand my ground. There's a lot of standing ground here. Abundance is something, especially with these pillars in the abundance card.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's always like.
And that's the root.
Yeah.
She's got the root on there too. So.
Well, you pulled the spiritual quest.
With a 40 again.
Wow.
Clear as day. So your spiritual quest is to like see what abundance is already waiting for you that you haven't claimed yet, because you've been too wrapped up in other energies.
Literally wrapped.
Sounds good, Libra.
I feel, well, let's get these dice. I'll roll this one. I'm feeling something that I need to say, and I want to confirm it. South Node, Gemini in the second. Yeah, this is where it's like you need to focus more on your real needs and wants instead of this projection of how you think it should look. I think that Libras can get stuck in that. Like, well, my friend got married, my friend did this, this person did that, people on TV do this, like, let me do that. And it's like, no, you have your own vision, your own world, and your own way of deep connection, and to not deny yourself of that.
That vision is real.
It is real.
It really
that
is.
South Node is the illusion that this is the data and this is what will make sense. Or there's also a false identification data-wise in the mind of what security brings with South Node and Gemini in the second. You know, it's like, it also is playing things too small to actually think you're going to build something secure. But really, if you build something secure off really small things, it's not going to be that secure.
Go big, Libra.
And it's really not kind of like a go big or go home, but it's like don't build this abundance off like quarters and nickels, like, you know.
Yeah.
We got Geminis.
Yo, Gemmies.
Gems in the house, the gems. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about 8th house energy? Holy shit. Being a Gemini right now is actually like being a Scorpio. And learning, you know, man, I mean, Geminis really they get that whole trickster thing, you know, told about them, because Capricorn is their 8th house. Like, what they really want, they know how to figure out how to get, but it's like, is it worthy of it with the North Node of Cancer? Is it worth it? So you can get anything you want, you can attract anything you want, but it's like, are you holding on too tight to something, like, to transform it? Like, I think Geminis are becoming like really good, you know, want to be like Frankenstein, like doctors, like, you know, like I can just take anything and turn it into what I want, where it's like, no, you know, not everything in the world can be transformed alchemically, you know, like no matter what, or it's kind of like going against the natural laws of the universe.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like, sure, we can change anything that we want, but there is things about alchemy that prove like, no, we need to have a balance and order from the natural laws of the universe. And if we work with those, it will go the right way. That's where Frankenstein comes out. That's where, you know, three-eyed fish in The Simpsons come out. Like,
that's where you earn yourself some karma for next time for breaking the natural laws.
True. For Gemini's, first card I'm going to pick is, I'm going to go here, the Uranus Genius card. Interesting, Uranus in their 12th house. This is a lot of, I think that you're going to see your patterns better this week. And I also think that this is about really finally starting to see the future. I think that maybe you've been a little clouded about the future of your relationships. I think that you've also felt like maybe you haven't found the right connections, or you're dealing with a lot of different connections. One thing about Uranus too is, man, it's almost like flashes of bang, 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 bang. A lot of stimulation, but not a lot of wholesome. Like, it's not whole. It's like, I feel like there's something missing wholesome right now in love for Geminis. I think that it's like catch and release, catch and go, catch moments, but not full blown like connection. Especially in the 12th house, you know, Uranus in the 12th is very apparent this week. And the solar eclipse trying that, the Mercury's trying that right now. And then we have the moon on Taurus in Uranus this week. So there's a lot that's going on in that 12th house.
Gemini is my 12th house, so I will pull the challenge.
Please pull the challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Ganesh is going to be the challenge. And it's energetic movement. What does it mean?
Well, I think because I was just pulling this kind of all over the place for Gemini.
And this is like a whirlwind.
And it's like a whirlwind. It's like the challenge is maybe you're going around in circles looking for something. Maybe you're also talking to too many DMs. Or maybe you're expecting too much out of somebody too. I think that Uranus understands people. And then I think the challenge of energetic movement, it's like, well, they're not moving at what I want them to be. It's like, hello, like they're human too. And I think it's remembering the human qualities, not the mind's version of what it wants. Or this genius, I know what it wants, so I can energetically move anything. You know, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, you know, with like, you know, my precious, like if I get that ring, I can move it in life however I want it to, but it's like, it comes with a great cost.
Come on, Geminis. Don't be like that. New moon. I'm putting it there.
I mean, I think that's just saying that, you know, there's a subtleness about a new moon. It's dramatic too, but I think it's about aligning the sun and the moon, the awareness and your emotions in the right place. I think that what I'm feeling is that the consciousness and the emotional body right now are not aligned, and they are coming into alignment once you stop this energetic movement of whirlwind and trying to be this like calculative figuring out your love life so much. I think that it's just about the basics. New moon's so basic, right? It's just the sun and the moon meeting. It's just like, this happens every month. It's the seeding of something new. And I think that it's very subtle in the sense that we get tired on new moons. We get, you know, we actually can manifest our intentions much better when we are stepped back, not so much in movement, because on new moons, it's not so much about movement as much as it is about peace and awareness and alignment. And I think that Serenity. This is getting out of misalignment this week and in 2020 too.
Right. And the frenetic movement is just, it's a flurry, and you can't really get quiet enough for these flashes of genius to come through.
Yeah.
And that's what we're so favored for right now. I think with all the aspects is like, we can really hear, there's kind of like a godlike figure on this card. We can kind of hear God talking if we're really quiet, if we are this like dark moon. But if we're just trying to get, and let me tell you, with North Node coming into your sign next year, if you're already on this crazy
with the Venus
path,
retrograde, with
this crazy path, you're gonna like run off the rails by next year. So practice your equanimity now and prosper later.
Yeah, because that challenge can be, oh wow, 10 of Pentacles reversed over the energetic movement. And I think that
too much spending.
Yeah, or just like no foundation either, right? It's like the 10 of Pentacles is like a castle
not
with
grateful
a lot of people.
For what they have.
And what you have, exactly. Or it's like trying to go build a castle, but you don't even have anything around, right? So it's like you're trying to build a masterpiece without having anything to build the masterpiece with, except these flashes of light or these DMs. Like you could turn a DM into, this is everything, and I'm like building the whole world. But it's like, wait, what? Or I think if you're in relationships, I think there is something to say that it's like there is some sort of foundation that is not secure and whole, and that's why you're moving around trying to avoid facing it. That's kind of deep.
Deep love, you heard it here.
Yeah, deep love, Jerry. 4th house Scorpio. Wow. With Venus, a lot of Venus. Venus popped up a lot,
like
but Venus and Scorpio, you know, it is a detriment, but Venus in the 4th doesn't mind being there. I think that this is definitely you getting to some really deep emotional places where you have to learn how to learn that it's impermanence, that emotion changes. And it's like, instead of fixating on just the way you want to feel and how you're going to attain it, I think that this ultimate comfort is by watching and how things change into bringing in something that actually is, instead of having to change it to be a certain way. I almost feel like, again, I got the Frankenstein thing. It's like a scientist, especially with Uranus. It's like, you think that you're going to change the molecular structure of some sort of relationship or some sort of love situation to turn it into something, which you're just going to get an AI bot. You're going to get a sex toy. You're not going to get... You know, you're not going to get a real thing. You're going to get something that you've created, and it's not true.
Yeah, don't forget humanity, because, you know, you are human, whether you believe it or not.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're getting down to the bottoms here. Sagittarius.
Oh, Sagittarius.
Yeah, and then we have just 3 signs left.
Okay.
With the last 4.
You start Sag.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
All right. So Sagittarius, we got a lot of Capricorn, of course. Maybe we can do camera 2 since I'm alone. I feel with all the Sag energy gone, except for Mars now. Mars is about to really finally set the tone for who you are and where you're going in your life. I think that you've had a lot of visions of it, but you know, with Mars in the 12th, it's been kind of inhibited in your love life. Now you have to make your choices. You have to really go onto the adventure of your life. Also, we are going to see all this Capricorn, which is 2nd house. It's about knowing your true worth and your value and stepping up into it. And I think that especially with, you know, the Uranus aspects this week, which happened for you to be in your 6th house, it's a change of your schedule, your reality, your day-to-day life that, you know, your romantic life is based upon. And the moon in Aries is in your love house this week, squaring the 2nd house. So it's like you either have the love of your life or you're going to realize you don't. And you have to start to realize that you can have it, but you're going to have to let go of something that you're holding on to too much that isn't it fully, or you're going to have to really, like, you're going to have to face some really intense, like, self-worth issues dealing with happiness, and whether you're blocking that or whether you're holding on to something that keeps you worthy, but it's really not of great worth, there's going to be a lot of that stuff going on. Also, some people could feel on the other side of the coin, Sag, with that second house, fifth house energy, it's like maybe somebody feels like they're, especially if you're in a partnership, like maybe they feel like that you're taking, you know, their energy in order to make themselves happy, yourself happy, or whatever. I think that this is definitely going to bring up some conflicts, but I definitely feel that the Mars in your sign energy is going to be like, no, you can actually finally have the courage to step into your true value of self, you know, and you don't have to go to True Value Hardware or True Value Hardware. First card for the Sagittarius, I'm picking on this first. Wow, they got 10 of Cups this week. Holy moly.
You got a rainbow.
You did get the rainbow. This is amazing energy. This is definitely the vibes where you want to find the ultimate emotion in every direction of love and connection and finding union and taking you to a better place. I feel like this is like a union coming in this week that's taking you to the most amazing place. This is reaching a pinnacle moment for the Cups, the tens. Tens are always the end of any card. So you have to realize once you get to the tens, it's like, bam, you're at a place to where you can actually pinnacly have this. But you're going to pick the challenge. What's holding this?
Sagittarius.
Or what is the challenge to this?
Ganesha says openness.
Unopen to the most beautiful thing in the world.
Saggies, that doesn't sound like you.
I think it does with Mars and Scorpio going into Sag, like kind of that, you know. Right? Like, and then Mars.
We need to clarify for this.
Yeah, why are we getting the openness? Oh, Hermit reversed. I think you're afraid to come out into the world. I think that you're afraid to
taste the rainbow.
Or just, be into open energy, because there's a fear. It's like you only know what you know. And I think that, you know, this is about bringing the courage back of amazing things happen.
Being the pioneer.
Yeah. Amazing things happen by going into places you don't know. Not by knowing. It's like almost like that 10 of Cups is like, oh, it's already beautiful where it's at. It's like, no, there's definitely something that's not there that needs to be expanded on.
We all got to forge forward. Like, you probably had a really amazing Sag season. Wow. You're feeling really full.
Bam, transmute is the overall energy with the snake. It's like you have to make you're shedding huge skin to transform and transmute this energy into a totally different thing.
And it's true. It is such a nice skin that you have on right now, but it's not going to fit for much longer anyway. So shed it. Shed it.
Yeah, it's just something better coming in. That's why the openness challenge is. And now, I mean, we pulled the clarifier. I think the openness issue is not coming out, but the actual challenge to the openness that you can get through, wow, is 9 of Swords. I feel that there's just a lot of anxiety and fear around your life right now. And any place that you have anxiety and fear is where you need to face a situation and deal with it and go. Whether that's something that you know you need to end or something that you're just afraid that you haven't experienced yet, you need to go into it that way. The things that you haven't experienced yet that you have fear over, those are better places to go. The things that you have fear and anxiety over that keep repeating, that you keep experiencing, that needs to leave because it's blocking the most amazing rainbow of your life. That's what you have to transmute. Let's get more clear on the transmute. I almost feel like they need an astro card. Cancer, I feel your feelings. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's like you're changing the way that you feel about your relationships and what that rainbow looks like and what it could be.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and that's all right.
Saggies.
9th house, Gemini, Mars. Wow. Yeah, it's like, again, environment and taking action towards shifting the basics to the big vision. And I think that also it's about communicating what you want in order to get what you want. Like, like nothing can be seen if we don't know the data or the facts. And so there's a lot of communication this week to open things up. There's a lot of stimulation. There's a lot of travel this week. Mars in the 9th and also with Gemini, like that is travel. Like, and so, and especially with the openness, don't be afraid of the travel that you must do this week, and also to the travel of love that maybe you have not been open to in your mind that Mars is forcing you to have courage for now?
This is all so you, Sag. Just hit the throttle.
We got Scorpios.
Scorpios.
Well, Scorpio's got quite a Gemini party going on. Third house, all the Capricorn. It's a lot of stimulation. It's a lot of stress too, but it's all in the mind. Clear your mind this week, Scorpio.
13 energy.
They would pull the black 13.
And she's all like Scorpioing out in her dark boudoir.
I know.
A light inside my fire divine. Energy fill me, make me shine.
Damn. 13 black. Maybe you got to go play some roulette and throw some 13 black down. I feel that energy card is coming in as like you have more energy than you realize.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you start playing a game that you don't have energy or desire, not going to work out too well. I think that this is a positive card saying like step into energy. Also look around the people that you are trying to attach to romantically right now. Where's your energy level at? That's a huge indicator, especially with 13 there. It does equal a 4. There is stability by the right energy, but there also is instability too, I think, by identifying of some sort of, belief of that, well, my energy is not good, and then maybe not looking at the truth of where's your energy going and the romantic energies that you're putting your energy at.
I got your challenge.
Power. So
I think it's like, don't be afraid of your power. Like, don't be afraid of the impact you have on people. It's going to always ruffle some feathers to be an impactful person, but that's what you came here for, Scorpio. That is who you are. And we need that from you in order to keep that alchemy happening.
That card's always funny though, because a little Taurus-y, it's like that Taurus power. It's like that's that self-worth.
That's Hathor's disc.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Hathor was a Taurus.
Maybe, because the bull and the horns of the bull and the power. And that's where a lot of Uranus energy is this week, right? And I think and we got energy and power, so it's kind of like, it's like anywhere that you're using like kind of like, I was gonna say like energy drinks right now, energetically on a relationship, or caffeine or something like to stimulate, because this is third house, like so much, like, is that really powerful? Like it's like, where's that deeper, earthy, that tone, that red, that's more like sacrally, almost, it's like that sacral rootish, right? Like kind of brownish red, right? It's like not full red, but not full orangey brown.
It's like crimson.
Yeah, it's kind of in between. It's very generator energy, right? I would say.
It is. It's very, like root to sacral, and especially with this energy card saying a light inside my fire divine. I think it's like connecting to your inner spiritual power as well. It's like, you can really set an intention and you can walk into a room, Scorpio, and you can send that energy out, and you can change a space. You can change a frequency. And I think it's almost like Scorpios are really working on behalf of others this week. I feel like you're bringing this energy and this power. It's really good for you to come from this pure place of like setting your own energy and your own tone and your own frequency, but like getting to watch how beautiful of an influence you can be when you do set that energy intentionally, rather than just let it, shoot around, or don't value it as much, or try and amp it up sometimes and subdue it other times. I think it's about being really, I think there's a lot of femininity in these two cards too. This is like a goddessy disc. She's a feminine, 13, like 13 moons, so lunar. So what else will we see?
Earth element stability. I think that this is finding the power within that you can create something, but it's almost like, why deny it? Like, I feel like there's something showing up that has all the energy and the stability, and something that can really hold you and hold your energy in the right way and give you power that you find within yourself by giving it back too. There's an exchange of power, within each other to revitalize yourself and to give you stability. But if you're going to deny that, I think that that's going to be an issue, because maybe, you know, maybe you're a little nitpicky. Venus also is in the 4th. Maybe you're drowning out your emotions this week a little bit too much, and you need to kind of empower yourself instead of kind of be a little bit lost in the emotional drowning. Why do we have this challenge? It's the 8 of Pentacles. So it's like, I think a lot of this is like, you need to get back to work and like a rhythm and a routine. You know, the 8 of Pentacles works, and it gets into a rhythm, and then it stops thinking about the powerlessness in itself, or the energy it doesn't have, or the stability that offers that 8 of Pentacles energy. It's like, it's doing something. And I think that this week you have to be doing things to be in the energy to create the love that you want. I think that this is definitely, you feel power when you're in doing something of power. But if you're away from it, you know, you're going to feel like you're powerless a little bit.
Yeah, you're going to feel confused. So you got the power, now use it.
I want to pick up the energy card real quick. Yeah, there's a fair exchange of energy going on between people. You got
And
the
this
6 of Pentacles.
this card to me, maybe not orthodox, is like self-worth. It's like realizing that you are in a position to give, and that's like a privilege, and that's self-honor. And it's not putting yourself in the beggar position in any way, even the way you see yourself. Like you don't need handouts. You got the big bucks.
Yeah.
You got the energy. Okay, I'm rolling the dice.
Roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em.
Boom.
Pluto and Pisces in the 5th. Wow, this is changing a lot. The transformational experience of your vision of what happiness is. The natural 5th house for Scorpio is Pisces. So maybe you're obsessed with the way love should look, and maybe that needs to change in the perception and the subconscious. Maybe there's also subconscious things that you love that are not good for you, that are kind of holding you back and kind of that need to change, because maybe the real power is in actually getting rid of things that are not conducive to your heart space.
Yeah, because I think it's purity. Like if it's coming from you, like from you, from your body, from your genuine interests in the world, then it's good. If it's coming like from your mind, from your conditioning, from your past, if it's like that revenge edge, if it's that, oh, I'll prove to them that I have power by doing this.
Yeah.
That's not stable. That's actually coming from a place of insecurity. So yeah, it's simple, it's pure, and the simple, pure things of your heart can transform your whole reality.
In a second, bang. I love Pluto because it's like, bam. Even though it is the slowest planet, it's been continuously going to a point to where it finally reaches a place where it's like, it has to change.
It's just like
and you've been able to see it the whole time. It's been a slow and steady, long-term subconscious issue blocking your heart that you're going to actually get to this week.
It's time to pop
and this
that
year,
cork.
we are doing a 2020 kind of forecast.
All right.
Last two are
Aquarius.
Aquas and Leos. So we're gonna do Aqua first. We'll do Leo last.
Oh shucks.
I'm down for it. You know, this is not Leo time. This is Capricorn time. It's Aquarian time. It's like, this is the opposite side of the Zodiac. So I'm cool with it.
All right, I'm gonna start us off.
I will honor all the signs in their moment. Wow, the love card, the Venus card. Oh no, wait, is that what? No, that's ninth house. Sorry. It looks
Ninth
like
house,
the Venus card.
Faith, card number 33. So faith and I think like destiny.
Yeah, I think it's about being
Mastery.
open to where you think your love life's going and having faith that it's going to go all the right direction. You might be facing a lot, especially as Aquarians are going through massive 12th house energy right now, the most any sign could ever have gone through in their lives. So I think that this is like having true spiritual faith in that, you know, there's a lot of opportunities. 33, the ninth house. I think that it's definitely a time for you to believe and stay in a place of positive belief, because that's going to make love go the right way if you're in a relationship or if you're dating. I mean, if you're coming in there being like, I don't have faith on the planet anymore, I don't have faith in my life. It's like, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah. Because without that faith, all this 12th house stuff is probably making you want to not exist.
No.
So what I've really been feeling, because I have many wonderful, not too many, but a good handful of really wonderful Aquariuses in my life, is just intuitively connecting to them. I feel like Aquarius season is going to be such a change of fortune for the Aquarians. And I think they're going to see that this house cleaning that's been going on for them is going to be, will have been, you know, exactly that. It's going to clear space. And it's karmic space. So things that might have been keeping you tied into patterns and shit you don't like for your whole life, you never could quite get there for some reason, like that stuff might be being cleared right now. And then on the other side, if you keep that faith, boom, you've got, like, I'm feeling like a whole new platform or something for Aquarians.
And it's about remembering that you've been through experiences instead of looking at it like you've been through just hell. It's like you've been through experiences to teach you to grow, to understand, and to have the faith, because faith is really based upon experiences and knowing. Like, you have faith because you felt God in your life, right? You have faith in your mom because you know your mom came through for you or something, right? Like, you know, that's how faith is built upon, is an experience that you've had. So look at the positive experiences. The challenge for you this week is the Page of Rods. So it's like you're not getting the messages you want. Somebody's not communicating the way that you want to. Maybe they're not talking to as much. Maybe they're not connecting as much, or maybe they're not bringing you the same kind of you know, messages that you want to hear. And that's where I think that you need to keep the faith. They might be busy. They might be doing their passions, and like, maybe you feel like, well, that passion should be me all the way or something, right? Page of Rods is like, oh, I am looking for, like, that is where the king is waiting for, like, I sent a message to that other kingdom looking forward to see if that love is going to happen. And it's like, there's a delay there. It's like, don't become a tyrant and start being like, it's not showing up. It's like, have faith. Maybe that other kingdom's busy and they're actually sending you the best thing possible. You don't know. They might be like, you know, there might be a genie involved, making Aladdin into, you know, Prince Ali.
They might be fighting the army that's on the way to your kingdom, protecting you. Who knows?
Yeah.
Imagination, 41 in Aquarius.
Wow.
So, yeah, when Aquarius season hits, it's time to, well, read the card. Imagination now sets me free. Divine ones, I send my thanks to thee. So yeah, we've got to have a really big heart right now and hold a lot of space for what's possible, even if it doesn't look like it, because that is truly what's going to pay off. How big and tall of a spirit can you be right now? No matter what shit's blowing up in front of you, no matter what pain you're feeling, can you still spiritually in your heart step up and over that with your vision, knowing that just by being here, you're in full deservance of what's coming. And even, yeah, you're not going to see it right now. And just know that you're not going to see it right now. But that's what faith is all about. Holding the vision.
Your way to get through that is the release card. Oof. So releasing
cord
to the
cutting.
way that, well, that, and I think it's also, I think it's a combination. It could be a cord cut, like you have to release a person because they're not communicating. But I also think it's more of releasing of the idea of the way that communication should be and look. You know, or the way that it should look in general. Like, it should, my love life should look like this. This person should look like this. This person should act like this. This person should show up like this. You know, that page is an idea of the message, or a message that we want to have for happiness and love. And this is about releasing that whole idea and having faith in a new imagination about what it looks like, and being open to that and seeing what shows up and having faith. And if you release that way, that's the only way I think that imagination, those doors open, because it's like, maybe you have the smallest hole for somebody to fit through right now, and they can't fit through there because nobody can do such specific things right now. Release that, so that opens the gates to allow everything to come in. What's the 642nd gate after 41?
Oh, that's actually in Aries, so it's not right after the 41, but it's all about steady growth. So it's about being detached enough over a long period of time to see the full fruition of what's really possible. So you're on a really long bus ride in a hot, shitty bus that stinks, but you're going to Paris and you're going to get there eventually.
I want to get the release. Oh, yeah. If you don't release, then you're just going to create quarrels. But, you know, Five of Wands definitely deals with a lot of, you know, whether it's quarrels or people kind of battling over things, but it also
or mental tension.
It is also 5 people who could be playing a sport or a game, the determination. So there's like a sport aspect to it all. Like, so, you know, it's a little bit like you need to show up and play the game a little bit instead of pull out and have, you know, like have no faith that you can be in this game. It's almost like you feel like, I can't be in the game. I don't have a jersey. I don't have a uniform. It's like, no, love is like, you got to kind of show up. It's a little bit of a rough and tough thing for something beautiful sometimes. Like, it's not like just like sitting on the couch and the ultimate love of your life just shows up. Like, you know, like it's like you got to put in a little bit of the work.
No one invited you to play. Pick up a stick and go play anyway.
Yeah,
you'll have fun.
Up. It's called pick-a-games, like, or pick-up games, you know? You, like, literally go, hey, can I play, like, as a volleyball player? For my life, I've always gone to the beach, and I don't know anybody. And I had to get through so many fears of that. Be like, hey, does anybody need another person to play? And I'd be like, yeah, hey, like, I'll play with you. And then there I am on the beach playing volleyball. So that's how it works. A lot of people go by themselves to do that.
Good stuff.
Wow, Pisces rolling up again, and Pluto, but with the first house. So yeah, imagination. I think this is a new imagination. This is a new, and you know, Jupiter is also the ruler of Pisces as well, right? So there is kind of this imagination, Jupiterian, new identification of the way that you want it to be. But also with Pluto there, it's like maybe you've gone down the road so long of intensity of how you think it should look in your imagination, and this needs to change. The imagination needs to change its identification. The ego's
your whole identity.
Vision, the ego's vision is definitely coming to.
If you can't, if you don't have the faith to see this through, you won't transform your identity out of the person that can't see through the next hiccup. But that's everything. That's everything right now. Oh, Aquarians, I'm sending you love. You're going to get through this. You're going to get through this.
Honestly, yeah, because I mean, like, 12th house energy, like, I've been through it. I'm a Leo. I'm your opposite sign. I went through it, not with this much at the same time, but I did go through it really, really gnarly when Saturn was in Cancer. And I went through it with Jupiter in Cancer this decade. And I went through it with a lot in Cancer. The lunar eclipses. I'm about to deal with a lunar eclipse in Cancer. You know what I mean? I went through solar eclipse in Cancer in the 12th. So, like, you know, I get it. I get it.
Your time is coming.
Yes. All right, Leos are last. Leos.
Lucky last Leos.
Oh, I'm hoping for some luck for Leos because Leos have been through a lot of the emotional mud with all this sixth house energy of like having to be a rat on a hamster on a hamster wheel and just in working.
A rat on a hamster.
Well, I am a rat, but I will say, have you ever seen a rat on a hamster wheel like that? That's stress.
Sounds like your tail's gonna get stuck.
Exactly, and it's like Ratican in the great Mouse Detective story.
Well.
But, you know, with Mars moving out of Scorpio, out of the 4th house, I think this deep, emotional, kind of edgy, intense place for you of kind of feeling like you've dug in a deep hole. Whenever Mars is at the bottom of the chart, you once it finally comes out of that 4th house and it starts to go up, Mars is pulling out of the mud. So there's a big thing about emotionally pulling out of the mud this week. And also, all this love energy that you imagine with Jupiter and with Venus and the conjunction and all that. Here's Mars coming in to try an Aries in your 9th house to believe that love still is possible. I think that there's a lot to say about that. Let's see what pulls up. You already pulled a card.
Air,
yeah. So it's the state of mind. It's I think, you know, just being aware, number one, of like the intellectual aspects of like what makes sense, what does not, and staying.
And 28, what matters.
What matters, yeah.
What really has meaning.
And it's the environment, the 3rd house, the 9th house. The 3rd house, the 7th house, and over to the 11th. Like, who are you around? Who is communication there? You know, I think communication is key for you right now. And if you're not getting communication, then there's something wrong. And then 7th house energy, yeah, like fairness and equality and a fair understanding of that too.
And don't forget to breathe.
What should I pick for the challenge here? Divine support. I think, I'm going to have you go. That's a great
picture. Wait, what?
I want you to go on this one.
Challenge for divine support. Well, I think that maybe in the emotional mud, the Leos can get that kind of tunnel vision. Like, oh, this is not working. Nothing's working. And I think that it's always great to use the power of the mind to redirect to the ever-present divine support that's here for you. It's only an illusion if you feel that you don't have divine support. It's only a momentary human frustration. It's not the truth of the matter, because look at this beautiful, big, you can't, Jax, can you do this one? This beautiful big Om that's just embracing this Ganesha is just so golden and Leo-like. So I think it's like remembering that you are one of God's favorite people. It's just that you do have to deal with the mud sometimes. And
yeah, I think the challenge is actually accepting that the support is there when it doesn't seem logically like it is with the air card before it, when it actually is. But it doesn't seem like it, or maybe something is said to you and it doesn't feel like you're supported, or but that also can create drama when I think challenge of divine support, right? It's like God doesn't love me, or God doesn't want me, or there is no support. The divinity is just, what is the 48th gate?
that's in the spleen. So that's all about depth of skill. And that's like having, it's really interesting because people with that gate are naturally talented, but it comes with a natural sense of almost, it's not quite insecurity, but it's like inadequacy.
There it is. That's divine support challenge, inadequacy that feels divinely not there. Like that maybe spirit doesn't want to give you something because you don't feel like you're worthy of it.
Right. There we go. But
and it's all mental.
It's all this mental scorpionic constriction that comes when we... Okay, next one. What's the next one? Yeah.
The Virgo Analyze card. So
when you get too myopic and too focused in the moment of like what we were saying before, like, oh my God, something happened right now. Now I'm gonna freak out over it. It's like, no, we got to take the macro perspective, go back into that. Maybe even, I mean, it's not likely Leo will do this, but maybe even go into that place and get out of your mind.
You know, Virgo is a beautiful energy. It especially as the overall here, it's like saying what reality makes sense that actually does have the divine support that you feel. I think that it's like maybe you might be in realities or you're putting yourself in places where maybe it doesn't feel supportive because it doesn't make logical sense, and it's creating kind of an over-analyzing to find divine support because it's actually, maybe the universe is supporting you, of course, but it's like the universe isn't showing up and communicating as many signs or as a reality that makes sense to where it's not so stressful, but it's operating correctly because it's not supporting it, literally.
Oh. Knowledge. This one was one that was hanging out on the table forever. Let me connect above and below. Let the knowledge of ancestors flow.
There's a lamp, the genie lamp.
And it's being filled up.
By a rat?
No, the rat's, oh no, that's a flame. I thought there was a little rat.
What is it? Oh, yeah.
So, 28. Okay,
wow.
So we're back to this energy of like, okay, what makes my life meaningful? It's like a big question about this gate. And this is a gate where if you have the 28 in your design, you're not doing something that fulfills you or has true purpose to it for you, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be even suicidal because you live for a reason. You live to make life more than just survival. So, if your focus isn't in the right arena.
What does 28 connect? I think I have 28 something connection in one of my channels. What's the channel? Just 28?
2838.
Yeah, I think I have that.
You have an open root, I thought.
No, I have a defined root.
Oh. You would have that gate. That channel of struggle.
Yeah, I do have that channel.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's super important for you then. Because so if you're looking at some minute detail that's fucked up and you're defining your meaning by that, it is going to feel like you're cut off from divine support. But when you're connected to your true overarching purpose, like what the big vision is, and maybe that's something that's you got to tap into.
Queen of Swords reversed. I think that, your Leos are releasing from energy that feels cold.
And also they're not getting like taken off path by little things as much anymore.
Yeah, like, and I think it's like if energy is not showing up with a clear mental communicative aspect,
purposeful,
then then there is no actual divine support there. Sure, there is in the background, but it's like the universe at the same time might not be revealing because like I don't want to really like support you through something to make you feel like shit.
Yeah, the universe is not going to enable you.
You know what I mean? Well,
this one too. Friendship. Just an extra bonus.
The last thing Leo
Just
wants
an
to
extra
hear
bonus.
for love. We rule love, not friendship. But it makes sense though, as far as there has to be a kinship first.
But you got Aries 5th house moon.
Aries 5th house moon, yeah. I mean, it's like if you're not getting the emotions that you want in your happiness, then that's going to make it very clear in your feelings, and it'll be clear. But you have to have the courage to emotionally also step fully into that. Like, are you sure that you want that? And also, if you do,
communicate your needs.
like, yeah, emotionally going after happiness too. But there is something to say about, like you were saying with that 28, like, it's like, unless you really like it, it's not going to work out great.
No, it won't fulfill you.
So you have to really like it.
That's an intuitive gate too. So it's like, it's not a story. It's not a concept. It's like, do you feel it in your bones?
Yeah. What's the friendship thing about the lovers?
So maybe you just start as friends. And Aries, we were talking to the Aries earlier about how not to taking it too far too fast.
Yeah.
So friendship becomes this very handsome couple.
Yeah, because I think any relationship, love-wise, like if there is no friendship, it's not going to be that great.
No, it's not. It's not going to be anything for very long if there's no friendship.
Well,
Well,
any last words, Dylan, on this 2020? Thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight, late night.
That's what I want to say. Just thank you for all of this, and it's just been so fun to like create with everyone lately.
I know it's been real building the fam.
Yeah. So thank you all for being here and
Yeah, it's been awesome.
laughing with us at ourselves.
I think you pick one card, I pick one card. Just an overall for 2020, love, happiness, and just everything in between.
Oh,
You're gonna pick Ganesha,
that's what I was just pulled straight towards it. Okay.
and I'm gonna pull. You know me, I
This
think
is
tarot.
it, guys. This is 2020.
2020
Priorities.
with the Knight of Swords. Wow, upright. Like you have to go towards putting all of your energy into the priorities, because if you put your priorities to the side, you're going to be rushing like a madman or mad woman towards fixing things at the last second. And Capricorn does not like things at the last second. It wants to be prepared.
Yep.
And
the rat is watching you.
yeah. And with the Knight of Swords as well, it's like there is a little bit of this like really intense rush. And, you know, priorities need to be rushed. And if something is a priority to you, put a lot of energy into that, because you can do something before. It's a little MG-ish.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking that.
Were you? Because we've been saying, like, you know, manifesting generators just blah, 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 and then, I have to go backwards. But it's a little bit better, I think, to go backwards. At least you have the priorities set and fit and understood and towards. But, you know, he's going in this one towards a burning building to go save the person up there and to go figure it out.
I think he's going past the tower that just got blown up because he's got priorities.
Well, in the original Rider-Waite, he's jumping into save somebody.
okay.
Like he's got his sword out and he's the most, he's the one who, it's the fastest card. Like it's like, I gotta go now. Like I gotta go do this. I gotta go. And there's a lot of very swift, very quick, and very masculine too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the priorities have to be about like cleaning situations up to make the priorities. Look at how beautiful the priority card here is with Ganesha. It's like with lotuses.
Just at the top of the Himalayas with the holy rat, which we'll have to research that part of the story.
The Ganesha rat connection.
Yeah.
But I think that, there is something to say about the faster you deal with things and you just nip them in the butt of the priorities that you want in your life and you actually make them there, you're going to be quicker to the higher and better places at the top of the mountain, Capricorn.
Yeah.
That's a much more beautiful place than stalling things. I think this is not about stalling.
No, I think more that we just get out of our heads and do address whatever's coming up when it comes up, it's just gonna make everything go like faster, more efficiently, smoother. Like you think it's gonna take you 3 hours, it'll take you 30 minutes if you just show up to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's this year for sure.
Boom. Well, thank you everybody for being a part of Deep Love Tarot and HighVibe.tv. We have our awesome New Year's Eve 2020 event, which you can live stream or be part of it. We still have some tickets left. Make sure that you go to HighVibe.tv. It's on the top New Year's Eve 2020 event. If you watch my Instagram live, I do have some awesome giveaways, and you have to watch the live. It's on my Instagram at the Leo Kingdom for that event. Make sure that you subscribe to get the daily video horoscopes, weekly sun signs, and much more. We love and care for you very much. Jaxie, if you could just roll the trailer again and turn the audio off on audio 1. And we'll be good. Thanks so much. And
love you guys.
Dylan's going to be here tomorrow night doing his thing, and Jax, who's behind the decks. And of course, follow them on their Instagrams at The Spirit Advisor and at Jax Atlantis. Love you all very much. Thank you so much. Sending you so much love into the new year, and so much thanks for the last decade. Holy, I just got to say that. For following this channel on YouTube and everything for so long. I mean, literally a decade. So, and with tarot and astrology and all this stuff, it's just blowing my mind. I just want to say thank you again. Love you all. Happy New Year 2020.
Bye.